Okay, Gary and Karen. So anyway, I hope you enjoy a very, very high speed quiz. I am tempted to ask you some questions from the last set. So I'm just going to quickly whiz through some of these. So at the moment, so what I've got is a Zoom session where, as you can see, I've got some content, which is a PowerPoint, which I'm sharing on the screen. The way I do that is basically, and I'll just stop the share just for a second, just so I can kind of show you in reality how it happens. So at the moment, I've got a standard Zoom screen in front of me, except that the only person I'm meeting with is myself. So I've scheduled a new meeting. What I've done then is I have started the share, which so your sort of standard things. So I'll have my PowerPoint open, and it will be showing a show. And I'm going to click my share screen, and then I am going to click on my live PowerPoint. I've always got to be careful not to use the presenter view as opposed to the the correct one, which is obviously the slideshow itself. So I'm going to double click on that. Now the key thing here is that when you share it, you've got to click on both the sound and optimize the video clip. I'm assuming you might incorporate video clips, which is why I'm suggesting that. But you can see how it's actually included in the screen. So the next thing I would do is that when I'm sharing the screen, on the right hand side, there's a more option. And basically what it allows you to do is to stream to YouTube. It allows you to stream to a few other places as well. And in fact, funny enough, it lets you copy the streaming links. So that's quite a handy thing to know. In fact, what I'm going to do is I am going to take a photo of this for you. And I'm actually going to send it to you so you can actually see what's actually sitting there. You can actually record these things as well. And one sequence of interviews I did for a client, it nearly killed me. But we ran one of those selection events like we did for you once, and we actually recorded the whole thing. So I think I was up till probably 2 o'clock in the morning by the time I'd finished those. That's post interview, incidentally. It was kind of sorting out all the film clips and so on. Anyway, you can now see what we've got in front of us in terms of the quiz. So if you were with us on Saturday night, then you would kind of be presented by these questions. I think what I'll do is I'll just ask you a few questions. So when I speak to you at the end, I'll know what you've seen and what you haven't. So I'm going to ask you what question 10 is on the first slide. So you have a quick glance at that and guess what that road sign means and where you might find it. Trouble is, it's going to go past the answers, isn't it? But there we are. That's how I'm going to do it. So you have to be really quick if you're going to see that. There's a camel quiz, and I'll explain why that happened. So you can see here what we're doing. We're going, obviously, I'm just going very, very quickly through the PowerPoint, and you can see kind of different types of screen, how we're actually doing it. Okay, so there were 7 rounds. By the way, if you ever want to play a quiz with your community, because I seem to remember there was a community quiz where you live, just ask me and I'll send you the quiz, because you can obviously use it. It's ready to go. Right. Okay. So that was question 10. Right. Oh, actually, I'll ask you about these at the end if you fancy it. I suspect you'll probably know all the answers. Probably my favourite one. So we want to know the artist or the cartoonist. There we go. Question 3. Question 4. All right, you'll get question 4. You'll definitely get question 4. Question 5. I reckon you're going to get 100% on these. Question 6. Question 7. Done about 7. I couldn't get 7 because Karen did a lot of these for me. Question 8. I wouldn't have got that one either. That one I got. And this one I got, if you can remember what this piece of inverted commas art is. Okay, so I'm just going to show you the art. Well, there you are. There's your quick summary. If you just want to quickly note down what your answers are for those. But this gives you a sense, I think, of the kind of way that you can actually inform and embrace people when you're doing a seminar over YouTube. There we go. So I'm going to see how you're on with the answers. Right, here we are. So Claude Monet, Matt from the Telegraph, Renoir, Van Gogh, Picasso, Dr. Seuss. You see, that was one I didn't get. Andy Warhol, Quentin Blake, didn't know that one. Obviously got that one, Charles Schultz, and question 10, which is Tracy Emin. Yes, that's what we'd have done. We get people to actually text in their scores out of 70. So it's all based on trust, but it's a lot of fun when we do it. We had 27 teams running on Saturday, which was nice, all around the country, as well as Tewkesbury, which I guess is the reason. Now, what I'm going to do now is do what we did on Saturday, and I'm just going to give you a little sampler of what we did. So what happens at this point, in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take another photo just so you can see my display. I think I'm going to do this. There we go. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to send those two pictures over to you now. Let me just do that very quickly. So messages. Okay, so that will be going to Karen. This always gets complicated when I send it to the wrong person. As you can imagine, it does get just a tad complicated then. So that's one of the pictures. Okay, and then let me just send you the other one as well. So you've got it. Here we go. Right, so I'm just going to do that again. And I'm going to send that to you as well. Hopefully those two pictures will get to you. All right, so I'm doing this because at the moment, Karen, you should receive two texts on your phone. The first is the setup that I had when I effectively went live with this broadcast. And the second one of them is what I'm about to do. So on the left-hand side, I'm going to mute myself for the presentation, but everything else should go, so it should broadcast. So when you're hearing Simon's interview with Stephen R. Vicker, then there we go. Right, so I'm going to mute myself now.
Simon, thank you so much for joining us today and coming to share something of your story and your perceptions on the church where it is now and where we're heading into the future. Just tell us a little bit about your journey of faith. You were a Bristol butcher and you're now pastor of theology at one of the most flourishing Church of England churches in the country in Oxford. That's quite a journey. Just say a little bit about how that happened and what your circumstances were like that brought you into that position of faith.
Sure. Well, first, thanks, Stephen. I really appreciate the opportunity to share, and thanks so much for all the encouragement and support over the years. Yeah, Bristol butcher and now an Oxford preacher. I was born and bred in Bristol and moved down to Devon from the age of 4 to 14 and then back up to Somerset. So
I've just given you a sample of that video clip, which hopefully is helpful. I've muted myself through that, so I could have actually stopped my video as well if I'd have thought about it. And then obviously, check back on that presentation. Oh, actually, there you go. There's a tiebreaker for you. I think I know the answer. Karen had it on her phone ready on Saturday night. Okay, so that, in summary, is how you integrate Zoom and YouTube for a presentation. As you can see, I have made that one public, but you can do a few things actually. First thing is you can actually pre-record a seminar, which is quite nice. You can do that and then broadcast it on YouTube at a scheduled time. Or you can, as I said, go out live like I've just done. So there we go. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click on that more button. I'm going to, so the first thing I'm going to do when I do that is it says stop live stream, which is what I want to do. So I'm going to stop it